And yeah, now we're booting up the winter episode. We know all of these. So much snow! It looks so crunchy, I want to step in it. Okay, let's hit it. It's all white. It was like she had slipped away into a fairy tale world. I feel like I'm looking into another world as I watch from the window of the room. The ground is white with snow, the sky ashen. The crags in the distance a deep, inky black. My eyes trace the scenery, but I have no sense of its reality. Just the feeling of being in some fantasy land or amidst the pages of a children's story. Or rather, where are you, woman? What happened with you? Jeez. You've given us so many headaches so far. It was set in winter. There was a shot of a car driving people to stay with family at a vacation home. The camera tracked over the snowy landscape at an angle. My view through the window now reminds me of that. Movies are her favorite thing. Tracing a finger over the window, I think of her. And of the school where I spent a fleeting spring. The academy, with its high walls surrounded by forests, had seemed like the perfect place to shut myself away, leaving everything I once knew behind. Away from my father, my mother, and the person I had loved. Foolish as I was, I conflated the two. So at first I found my other Amitia partner an unwanted distraction as she drew the affections of the girl I yearned for. First, out in the woods in the pouring rain, and then, when everyone else doubted me, she alone believed. To me, fearful as I was of trusting in anyone, that belief was a joyous shining light in the dark. And my feelings deepened like a shadow at dusk. Those dirty feelings that made her squalid nest inside my heart. Sorry, that made their squalid nest inside my heart. When I think of that night in the deserted library, when we opened ourselves up to one another, my heart swells with emotion, until it feels like it's about to be torn asunder. If I knew then that we would have to part, I would never have given myself away. Why? Oh, this line again. What does that mean? I know it's part of a prayer, but like, with what meaning are they using it? Stupidly, I left her with words that fell upon her like a curse. Ah, okay. A lingering regret, I muttered to myself before turning my eyes once again to the picturesque scene. I swear. That knock sounded as if it had been a knock on my door. So the spatial dimension of the sound was really well done. And I was like, did I hear a knock? I freaked out for a moment. Yeah, she is super cute. Super cute. Then, hearing the signal of the bell, I stand up from my chair with a word of acknowledgement. I give the view one last lingering look. I whisper, sending up a prayer for her. Let her forget about me. Let her be happy. The person who has come to collect me must have heard my murmuring, but they don't break the silence. Grateful for the quiet, Maeri Kosaka makes the sign of the cross, hoping against hope that her little prayer might be answered. They say that athletes and other competitors can concentrate so intently they tune out the whole world. The snow swirls mercilessly across my field of vision, and the wind howls in my ears. Yet the only thing my senses are focused on is the cross-shaped grave before me. It's like everything else has been blocked by a thick curtain. I read out the name carved into the stone incredibly slowly so there can be no doubt about it. What is Yuzuri Hayatsushiro trying to tell me? I mean, there is doubt about it if you're only reading the family name. What's the first name? I stare at the name carved into the white stone. She told me that the first key to what happened with Maeri Kosaka was to be found in the last of the 7 mysteries, the Tulpa of Agape. And that the other key was this place. From the damage to the building, I've surmised that it was burned down. Is this old chapel the source of the Tulpa of Agape? Like the werewolf of the bell tower, which only appears around the chapel? No. The white gravestone nestled up against the roots of a Japanese elder tree. I instinctively know that the key Yuzuriha pointed me towards isn't the chapel, but this grave marker in the shape of a cross. In the back of my mind, I see Sister Basket's kindly, willowy figure. I imagine that, like in a fantasy novel I once read, the real Sister Basket is dead, yet her spirit remains at the school, wandering the halls and teaching her students. Wow, that's creepy as heck! No, that's absurd. If it were one of the detective novels I love, then... She stole the identity of the deceased Basket and faked her way into a teaching position at the school. And so the school wouldn't know? I don't know. That's possible. I focus my mind harder than I ever have before, quickly putting together various theories. My concentration is so intense that I neither see nor hear anything of the world around me. The door is opened only at the probability of a quadrillion to 1. You will be blessed only at the probability of a quadrillion to 1. Uses hint probably. Yeah, something like that. It does feel like that, doesn't it? When I unconsciously brush my hand across the tip of my nose, I realize it's freezing, and finally remember that I'm standing outside in a snowstorm. And then... Dropping my gaze, I notice words carved into the pedestal. Brushing away the snow covering them, I trace the letters with my eyes. Of course there's an epitaph, okay. Of course there is, Bea. Why wouldn't there be one? In the West, it's customary to engrave an inscription on the gravestone in memory of the deceased. I recall the famous epitaph left by William Shakespeare. Good friend, for Jesus' sake forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. The curse-like phrase makes my stomach squirm. Bending my frozen body down, I read the English words inscribed on the stone. A little flower.
冷たい息吹にさらされ、無慈悲な死を遂げ、死の影の谷を歩く。美しき花よ、汝はつぼみのまま刈り取られた。神は最も清らかなものを傍らに置く。天井の枯れることのない庭へ、汝という花を咲かせたもうた。
That sounds like it's about a child that was very young when they died. Like maybe from pneumonia or something like that. As I read the words and the meaning sinks in, a cold chill works its way up my spine and I stagger, instinctively wrapping my arms around myself.
小さき花、無慈悲な死。
Speaking the words aloud sends the chill deeper into my bones, calling up a vision of Mayuri from within me. My amitié who vanished without a trace. On earth as it is in heaven.
天井の枯れることのない庭へ、汝という花を咲かせたもうた。
My voice is hoarse, like an old woman's. It doesn't sound... sorry, I skipped that. My bad. It doesn't sound like my own. Okay, I was a little bit too trigger happy on the scroll wheel. I stare feebly at the white snow cross with its engraving. Mayuri now lives in Taiwan! Is she big on areca nuts? Maybe? You know? I wonder. Oh god. Oh, of course. Why didn't I realize it until now? Seeing the name basket must have thrown me. For all my intense focus, I overlooked something important. With a trembling hand, I reach out toward the familiar surname, then brush away the snow covering the first name. Thank you. Thank you. As the snow-obscured letters are revealed, the gale howls louder than ever in my ears, and the piercing cold sinks beneath my skin to freeze my body to ice. With the snow cleared, I whisper the name of the little flower.
Shion Baskia.
Shion. Okay. All of those theories that, oh my god, Sister Basket is not who we think it is. She assumed the identity of a dead person. This looks so pretty. What the heck? Oh my god. They're so cute. They're so cute. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm speechless. This is so pretty. What? Ah. It's so blue and the butterflies and them like little ballet fairies. Ah. I can't. That was so gorgeous.
悪魔と青く深い海の間でという英語の慣用句がある。後がない、切羽詰まった状況に使われる表現だそうだ。悪魔に追われ、背後には海が、という状況に陥ったら人は、悪魔に食べられたくない一心で、深い海へと身を投げてしまうのだという。どちらを選んでも救いはないという選択肢。きっと私の大好きなアミティエは選びようもない選択を幾度も迫られてきたのだろう。これから始まる物語は優しい悪魔のささやきと絶望の海へのいざない。救いのない二つの問いに迫られながらも希望を失うことのない少女のお話。
Alright, I'm in. Let's see. And nearly all the imagery ties to the narrative. Okay, I can assume it does, but of course it doesn't immediately speak to me because I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, alright. Okay, like a changeable autumn day, the year is drawing to a close. Yuzuri Hayatsushiro and Nerine Komikado having left the academy behind. Oh, this is one thing that's really sad. Like, we'll never get to see them again. I mean, what? No. I love Yuzu. I will miss her. Yeah, they're gone. The snow that began to fall on Noel has blanketed the grounds in a soft, downy layer of white. After covering the dark earth, the snowfall paused, then started up again a few days later, as though remembering it had been in the middle of something. As though it were fearful of letting the bare earth be exposed once again. Two things come to mind as I watch the flakes flutter down incessantly. The first is a quote from William Shakespeare. "A coward dies 1,000 times before his death, but the valiant taste of death but once." And the other is the moment when I heard the truth, a few days following Noel, that Yuzuri Hayatsushiro and Nerine Komikado had quit the academy. What connects both these thoughts is the concept of fear. The first, an aphorism observing that fear is incurable. The second, an event suggesting that fear cannot be vanquished. Different though they are, the conclusion they suggest is the same. The truth of the matter was conveyed to the new members of the Council of Nicaea. The fact that the two shining stars of the school left without any forewarning came as a deep emotional shock to everyone. The student body was covered in a sense of loss and a fear that something was starting to happen, as thick as the snow blanketing the world around them. The disquiet continued as the closing ceremony approached, and then, without much ado, we were into the winter break. God, I love all of the scenery and the backgrounds with snow on it. I'm such a winter girl. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fangirl over it all episode long. The dorm building descended into silence, hulking quietly like a crotchety old woman. The dorms had always been filled with a cacophony of voices and noises, the hustle and bustle of daily life. But now that the closing ceremony is over and the winter break has arrived, the dorms are so quiet you'd think them deserted. Most students return to their families during the winter vacation, but not all of them. That's why it's strange that the place now feels like some abandoned mansion.
Erika-san なら映画のシャイニングみたいだって言いそうね。
I gaze out through the window at the snowscape beyond, at the huge buildings and labyrinth gardens all hemmed in by snow and silence. Maybe the season is to blame. When everyone went back home during the summer vacation, it wasn't so still. I imagine those twins from the movie, which the Sasakis had dressed up as, popping up at the end of a corridor.
Yatsushiro senpai, Komikado senpai.
The memory of Halloween brings their names to my lips. I've tried to blame the influence of movies or the season, but really it's their absence that is creating this loneliness. It's like traces of them linger everywhere around the dorms. And within me too. It's not like they've been completely erased from existence, but our memories of them will only make the holes they've left in our hearts harder to ignore. I know that better than anyone. Her name almost escapes my lips. I force out a long sigh to calm myself, then suck in a deep breath of clean winter air.
早く戻らなくちゃ。
With the kettle I'd been asked to get in hand, I hurried to my room.
恐竜と2ラウンド戦ったような顔をしてるぞ。
2 rounds with a T-Rex? What? What does that mean, Erika? What the heck? I met with those words as soon as I step into my room, and the gaping pit of loneliness within me quickly shrinks. I respond with a smile.
遅くなってごめんなさい。 これ意外と重くって。
I felt like something was too familiar. They're still in their autumn uniforms. I guess because the winter trimester, semester, whatever thing is, hasn't officially started? Or what is that? I hoist up the kettle full of boiling water for her to see, and her feline smile creeps across her lips.
だから私もついていこうかって言ったんだ。白羽は華奢だからな。
ありがとう。
Too delicate. As Erika informs me that she is packing plenty of strength in her arms, my meteor partner comes rushing over to me and I pass the kettle to her.
ご苦労様。今、美味しい紅茶を入れるからね。
As I watch her going through her treasured stash of tea leaves, someone addresses me with a "Here's yours."
お昼取っておいてくれていたのね。
まだみんな手をつけていないわ。白羽さんを待っていたのよ。
Oh, that's so nice of them.
先に食べてくれていいのに。
二階屋の会の会長様を待たないなんて不敬なことをしたら、会のメンバーに貼り付けにされて殺されちまうよ。
Laughing, I tell her not to be silly, and she turns her cat-like smile on me.
二階屋の会が秘密結社みたいな組織じゃなくてよかった。
She says, "Right. It still doesn't feel real yet, but..."
二階屋の会の会長になったんだ。
The vote following my speech resulted in me being declared the new president of the Council of Nicaea, and Rika-san the vice president. The elections took place as the year was nearing its end. Immediately after came Noel and the shock of Yatsushiro-senpai and Komikado-senpai's departure. From then, until the closing ceremony, I was rushed off my feet dealing with the transition to the new council structure. I wasn't given the chance for it to truly sink in that I was now president.
どうした会長？
その呼び方は。
会長。
白羽さんでいいでしょ？役職名で呼ぶのはよそよそしい感じがして嫌だわ。まあ確かに役職名で呼ぶのは一歩引かれてるような気がするもんな。なあ委員長。
なあ委員長。
突っ込まないわよ。突っ込んでるじゃねえかよ。打てば響く。さすがだわ。
Watching Rika-san retort as she carefully pours the tea, the final wisps of loveliness lingering within me clear away. The dormice may be silent as the grave, but here in this room it's as warm as spring.
そうだ、いちごさんたちはまだ来ていないの？
そういや、あいつらも家に戻ってないんだったな。
ご家族の都合がつかなかったから家に帰るのが面倒だって言っていたけど。
そう、私と一緒ね。
Sitting down in a chair, Takasaki-san chimes in as Rika-san pours tea into her cup.
私も似たようなもんだが、白羽も帰らなかったんだな。
父は海外で戻ってこられないそうだし、祖父も旅行に出ているそうなの。
なるほど。それじゃしょうがねえ。
She seems to have bought my explanation, but it's not true. During this winter break, I...
どうしたの？メガネが曇ってしまって。
Having put her face too close to the steaming hot tea as she poured it, Rika-san's glasses are now completely fogged up. I quickly reach for her cleaning cloth, but...
やっと本体を手に入れたぞ。
Artifact. Erika-san takes Rika-san's glasses and gallantly wipes them with a handkerchief. Then she stares intently at the spectacles in her hands, like there's some rare animal she's seeing up close for the first time.
拭いてくれたのはありがたいけれど、返してくれないかしら。それがないと何も見えないのよ。いや、よくよく考えてみると、学院に入る前まで思い返してみても、自分の周りにメガネをかけているやつって委員長しかいないって思ってさ。そう、いいから早く返して。なあ白羽、同じ処置仲間としてお前と私どっちがメガネ似合うと思う？
Oh no! Choices. Let me invoke the guide. It seems that we go for you, Erika-san, in this one. What? Okay. If the choice is between me and her, there's no question.
それはエリカさんの方が。
名前呼び来やすいぞ。ま、お前なら
Ah,
そう言
yeah,
って
she
くれる
doesn't
と
like
思っ
that.
ていたよ。
Correct. I just never realized. I've forgotten that aspect. Erika-san fiddles with the glasses for a moment and then turns her wheelchair toward me and holds them out.
もう少しかがんでくれ。ちょいと立ち上がるってわけにはいかないから
You
な。
want to see Sur with glasses? I do as I'm told and bend my head down. Aww. Aww.
おお。
Oh.
エリカさん？
普通やぼったくなるものだと思っていたけど、想像以上に似合うなお前。
そうかしら。
Even her sprite has glasses now. The level of detail. The prescription is so strong, I can't see a thing. But I can tell she's staring at me and it makes me feel awkward.
スオさんが私のメガネをかけているの？ねえ。
芸能界でもちょっと見ない美人だけれど、メガネをかけるとより清楚で大人な感じになるわね。そんな。
A compliment from Takasaki-san is rare and I can feel my cheeks burning.
ちょっと早くメガネを。あ、私にも見せて。5章だから。
Yeah, but to see her you need your glasses.
委員長がメガネをかけたら白羽がかけているのが見られないだろうが。
Poor Rika. Erika laughs. Unable to bear the embarrassment any longer, I take off the glasses and hand them back to Rika-san.
そろそろ食べようぜ。腹が減った。
For a moment, Rika-san looks like she's about to disagree.
紅茶も行き渡ったし、それじゃ始めましょうか。
She must have realized there'd be no point in arguing. Rika-san meekly sits down beside me and clasps her hands together in preparation to say grace. I'm following her lead when...
やあやあ、待たせたね君たち。やっぱりエリカちゃんたちもいるですよ。
The two other invitees to the tea party burst into the room with cheerful greetings. My dear friends Ichigo Sasaki-san and Ringo Sasaki-san. Aye. Ah, there we go. Much more coffee.
なんだ、やっぱりこっちにいたんだ。お茶会を開くって言うからエリカたちの部屋に誘いに行ったのに。
何度も言うようだが、名前呼びはやめろ。
だって千鳥もりっちゃんだってエリカって呼んでるじゃん。
まあ、そりゃそうなんだが。
スオちゃんだって呼んでますよ。
Yeah, but she just told her that she doesn't like it.
白羽はお前たちと同じで許してないからな。
スオちゃんが傷ついちゃうじゃん。人でなしですね。
人でなし。Faced with this barrage, Erika-san scratches her head and glances my way.
しょうがないな。お前たちは許してやるよ。
She relents.
このやりとりをこれから何十回となくするのを考えると、ひたすらにめんどくさいだけだからな。
スオちゃんも許すのですよね。
Another glance my way and I catch a faint flush across her cheeks.
白羽はダメだ。
なんで？別にいいじゃん。
Erika.
恥ずかしいんだよ。
Erika-san brushes it off with a quick "never mind," but I heard her quiet response, and I can't help but smile. She lets out a breath to regain her composure, then scratches her head again.
まあ、なんだ。お茶会の話は聞いてないけどな。私らは白羽たちに昼飯を一緒にどうかって来たんだよ。
それはハンバーガー。私としてはご一緒したかったですね。 ごめんなさい。さすがに用意していないわ。まあ残念だけど、私的にお昼はもう食べてきたからね。食後のおやつを持ってきたんだよ。その匂い、クッキー？正解です。調理室が空いてたから使わせてもらったのですよ。
Resourceful, Ringo. She plonks down her basket and asks Rika-san for a cup of tea. It's reassuring to see that the two of them are the same as ever.
八代先輩とのことがあったものね。
Ringo-san and Yatsushiro senpai had dated briefly, and Ichigo-san...
スオちゃん、早く飲まないと冷めちゃうよ。ええ、そうね。
She must have been hurt, but it seems that the two of them got through it together. Such is the bond between twins. I am doing my best to not let the image of that ending we just had pop into my head whenever we're talking about bonds between twins and stuff, but it's kind of hard at the moment. Maybe with time, maybe with time.
紅茶もだが、ハンバーガーも早く食べろよ。冷めた料理ほどまずいものはないからな。
そうね。
Doing as I'm told, I pick up my burger and then hesitate. Come to think of it, I've never actually eaten a hamburger before.
めっちゃうまだな。牛肉を切らしているってんで、今日のハンバーガーはチキンなんだよ。
鶏肉なの？これ。おお、共食いネタですね。コミカド先輩がいたらお腹を抱えているところだね。
The air in the room seems to freeze the moment that Komikado senpai's name leaves her lips, but the amused tone with which Erika-san replies thaws it.
食わず嫌いってのは大罪だぞ、千鳥。鶏肉のトップ3が入ってるんだ。うまいに決まってる。
Keeping an eye on how she's eating hers, I take a tentative bite of my own burger. I only get a mouthful of bread this time, but the freshly baked buns are savory and fragrant, and I quickly take another bite.
美味しいわ。
だろ？鶏と鴨と七面鳥を使ってるんだ。七面鳥はクリスマスに余ったやつだけどさ。
Yeah, food, I'm sorry. You will still have to suffer through the food part. I nod. The well-seasoned, crisply fried patty is the perfect blend of flavors and textures to keep you coming back for more. What helps me in this moment is that I actually had the burgers 2 nights ago. So it's a fresh experience and I don't feel the craving. At least there's that. Silver linings. And mine was a chicken, a crispy chicken one. So, yeah. Sandwiched in the middle, the lettuce and the onions help to soften the stronger flavors.
美味しそうですね。食べかけで悪いけれど、味見してみる？いただきますですよ。
Ringo just jumps at the opportunity.
私的にも。それじゃあイチゴは私の味見してみる？いいの、千鳥。それじゃちょっともらうね。
As I watch the two of them delightedly biting into the burgers, I take a sip of my tea. It's delicious too. Their jelly and the burgers go surprisingly well together. One day, the day will come when I don't stumble into words like that. I'm so sorry. Coffee with burgers. I mean, if she says so, I don't know, I can't contest, but I would never have coffee with burgers myself.
今、私の前で言ってはいけないことを口にしたわよ。
Erika-san jokes in reply, and Erika-san flashes her a wry smile. Takasaki-san is watching Ichigo-san chow down on the burger like a mother hen. Interesting also, from Suo's perspective, she calls everyone their name with san, except Chidori, where she uses the family name with san.
そういえば 聞いたことがなかったわ。
She suddenly says,
何をかしら。
白羽さんが紅茶糖なのかコーヒー糖なのかどっちが好きなの？
I like both. I think I might prefer tea. This is a choice? Okay. She prefers tea. That's what the guide says. Alright. I'm about to respond that I can't possibly choose between them, but... pressured by my MTA partner's silent gaze,
紅茶の方が好みかしら。
I pick tea.
そう？そうよね。やっぱりスオさんは分かっているわ。どこかの誰かさんに聞かせたいわ。悪かったよ。これも悪くない。ただ食い合わせのことを言って。なーに？なんでもない。飲み終わったから新しいのをついでくれ。
When characters' glasses turn like this in anime, yeah. You know you're in for trouble if you cross them.
いいわよ。
My Mitia partner is in high spirits. Erika-san inclines her head in my direction and Takasaki-san nods, a serious look on her face. All I can give them in return is a vague smile.
お昼も食べ終わったみたいだし、そろそろ私たちが持ってきたおやつでお茶会始めようよ。
そうね。
Erika-san picks up the kettle. I was about to say she picks up the lettuce. No, the kettle, to pour us all fresh cups. But I can tell as soon as she lifts it that it's lighter than expected.
お湯が足りないみたい。私が沸かしてくるわ。さっきはスオさんが言ってくれたのだもの。今度は私が。
I interrupt her offer to tell her that it's not polite for the hostess to leave her own teapot.
すぐ戻ってくるから。その方がいい。遅れたら私が全部平らげちまうからな。
Forcing a smile, I tell her I'll be as quick as I can. Then I take the kettle and exit the room. The lively sound of their voices fades, to be replaced by a silence that trickles into my ears like ice water. I warm my arms around the still warm kettle. It's time to make a decision. Yuzuri Hayatsushiro and Nerine Komikado have left. The end of term ceremony has been and gone. We've entered the quiet of the winter break. The days have passed by, dreamlike, slipping through my fingers like sand. I have to put a stop to it.
シオンバスキアを調べ始める。
I can't fully commit to it until I voice my determination out loud. The words disappear into the corridor, silent as the grave. My mind is made up. There must be a name for this feeling, I think to myself. Keeping my exaltation to myself, I refocus on the school almanacs in front of me. Now that we're into the winter break, I'm finally able to focus on investigating Sion baskets. Shion? I'm not sure how to say it. The collection of books and papers in Iznik is vast, but when I think that my investigations could lead me to Mayuri, I feel my heart swell with elation. First, I look into the surname basket, searching through writings about the school for any information pertaining to faculty members. I dig out details of the... Oops, sorry about that. I dig out details of the current full-time teachers and lists of the instructors for each subject. First, I go through the managerial ranks, the principal, the vice principal, then the head of each department. Next, I move on to the full-time teachers, going through the ranks of names by subject, from the core subjects to ballet and Italian. I go quickly, but place a check beside each name to ensure I haven't missed any. However,
現職の教職員の中にダリア先生以外のバスキア生はいない。
so could it be Sister Basket's adoptive father I once heard about? Staring at the rows of books enshrined upon the shelves, I feel that flutter of excitement in my chest again. Instead of diving into the books at random, I first tried to guess at the age of Sister Basket's father, based on how old she herself looks. However, I don't find anything in the records for those years.
そうだわ、養父なんだもの。年配の方だって。そうじゃない。固定観念だわ。すごく若い方の可能性だってある。
I was trying to be efficient in my search, but perhaps I made a fatal miscalculation. I hang my head with a sigh.
もう夕方になっていたのね。
From outside, the scarlet sun casts its light into the room. The rays slant in through the panes in thick bands, forming pillars of light that seem to grow out of the floor like trees. Tiny motes of dust dance within them, and the shadows beyond those scarlet bands seem cold and dark. It's then I finally realize how hungry I am.
そういえば。
I'm so sorry. My scroll wheel seems very sensitive. The tiniest touch it scrolls in. Yeah. Let's hear
そういえ
that.
ば、お昼を取るのを忘れていたわ。
So begin my days of holding myself up in Iznik to investigate the mysterious Sion basket. Okay. So Suo is on the investigation. Let's do, I guess, one more scene. I spent the second day exactly the same as the first. I'm not leaving anything to guesswork. I decide to be thorough and go through everything in order from oldest to newest.
明治41年、学院長、淡島椿。
I take care with the fragile yellowed documents so as not to damage them. The next time I surface from their dusty pages is when I hear my name being spoken almost directly into my ear.
スオさん
I lift my eyes from the paper to see my Amitia partner standing there.
リッカさん。
ずいぶん集中していたのね。夢から覚めたような目をしているわよ。
My temples are throbbing from intense concentration, like after listening to loud, discordant music.
どんな面白い本を読んでいるの？
I doubt it's that interesting. Her question abruptly brings me back to reality, blowing away the last wisps of dreamlike haze. She can't find out the truth of what I'm doing.
今までの学院の歴史を調べていたの。二階屋の会の会長になったのに、尋ねられて何も答えられなかったら恥ずかしいかなって。
もしかしてここにある本を全部？
冬休みの間にある程度は目を通しておこうかなって思っているの。
Rika-san looks over at the wall-to-wall bookshelf with trepidation. Relieved that she's not showing any signs of suspicion, I look up at the clock. It's past 11. 3 whole hours have passed me by.
そうよね。確かに歴史を知ることは大切だわ。スオさん、お邪魔じゃなかったら私もご一緒していいかしら？
え？
私も二階屋の会の副会長になったわけだし、スオさんの言葉を聞いたらもっともだなって。
I bet you didn't expect her to do that. I hurriedly consider my options. Should I agree to Rika-san's request? But what I'm really looking at is the staff records. She'll inevitably notice and find it strange. So should I refuse? But if I turn her down without a real reason, she'll find that odd too.
スオさん？
その。
Before I can tell she's welcome to join me, Ichigo-san pops her head around the open door.
ノックをした後返事を待たないといけないって礼法の授業で習ったでしょ？
ダリア先生みたいなこと言わないでよ。りっちゃんにことづてに来たんだからさ。
私へことづて？
合唱部の子に頼まれたんだよ。こっちに来る用があるならりっちゃんを呼んできてくれって。
ああ、冬休みの間の合唱部の練習についてのお話をまだしていなかったわね。
Fiddling with her braids, she looks over me and the book on the desk before me.
いちごさん、みんなには私抜きで進めてもらえるように言って。
ダメだよ。 部長のコミカド先輩がいないんだから、合唱部は実質りっちゃんが回しているようなものなんだからさ。
他の先輩が。
その先輩は家に帰ってないの？
Unable to argue with this, Rika-san resorts to looking at me like a kicked puppy. Oh. Then...
行ってくるわ、スオさん。
She's dragged off by Ichigo-san, who marches her out with the typical pip pip tally ho. Sorry, with a theatrical. It was a theatrical. Which is why... Oh, excuse me. When my ears pick up the sound of the door opening again, I assume it will be my returning Amitia partner. I quickly open up one of the school's almanacs atop my real target, the staff roster, as a decoy. Instead, it's my bookworm buddy who comes rolling into the room with the shrill squeaking of a bat, her feline smile firmly in place.
今まで昼も取らずに千鳥のバレエ練習に付き合っていたんだ。地獄だよ。
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't feel to me like it would be a father there. Like I said, the text just made me think of a little kid that tragically passed away too young. So I don't think she's on the right track right now, but she'll definitely discover more stuff as we go. I would expect that. Glancing up at the clock, I see that it's almost 2.
もうこんな時間だったのね。佐々木姉の言う通りだったな。
I belatedly admit that I forgot about lunch too, and Erika-san scratches her head, commenting that it sure is a pain to keep going back and forth from here to the main building.
羽が欲しいわ。
Yeah, you did in the opening. You had fairy wings.
生理用品みたいに。
Oh God, Erika, what?
やめて、八代先輩じゃないんだから。そっち系のネタは先輩の1000倍特許だったものな。会長職と同じく受け継がれるべきものだ。
No, we're fine. She adopts a cynical smile and lowers her voice to say, "Y'all would do a better job than me." Then she tosses me the paperback sitting in her lap, which I scramble to catch.
お前の分だよ。お茶はお前が入れてくれ。
I open it up to find a burrito inside. The spicy scent draws out my latent hunger, and my stomach almost rumbles.
保温しておいた紅茶があるの。入れるわね。
Alright. Very nice.
ブリトーのいいところはいろんな味があって飽きないところと手を汚さないで本が読めるところだな。
I would never eat a burrito over a book. I mean, I guess it also depends on how stuffed it is, but generally there's a lot of ingredients there, and they're cut in small pieces or whatever, so they can very easily fall. I would never do that. The chunky ground meat and nicely browned pieces of sausage are slathered in a rich Napolitana sauce containing just a pinch of spice. I'm sorry, Bea, there's food. My appetite's usually small, but I'm able to eat the whole thing in one sitting. I guess I was hungrier than I thought.
もう一杯いかが？
Yeah, sorry about that.
いや、残っているだけで十分。ここからだとトイレに行くのも一苦労だから。各社の一番奥だものね。仲良しの女子を気取ってトイレへご一緒にってのもな。一緒にトイレ。
Oh God, look at the sparkles in her eyes. Oh, so.
やめろ、キラキラした目で見るな。
I sighed her blunt rejection. It's one of those things I've always longed to do.
まあ、よかったよ。え？何が？八代先輩が去った後のお前の顔つきだよ。
そんなにひどい顔をしていたかしら。
苦悩ってタイトルをつけて額に入れて飾っておきたいほどだったよ。でも今はいつものお前の顔に戻ったな。
That's because Yatsushiro senpai finally handed me the key and I'm now in a position to search for what I was looking for, free from care.
みん
And
なのおかげ、エリカさんのおかげでもあるわ。
うまいブリトーを差し入れてるしな。
私を気遣ってくれている。
she tells me to stop and looks away, scratching her head vigorously. Even though it's not yet evening, her cheeks glow with the sunset red.
で、一日こもって何を調べているんだ？そんなに面白い本があったのかよ。
学院の年間だとか成り立ちだとか、二階屋の会の会長になったのだもの。聞かれて答えられないと恥ずかしいでしょ。
Erika turns her gaze to the almanac laid on the desk. Just as I can't drag my Amitia partner into this, I can't burden Erika-san with it either. Yeah, but I don't know if she's so easily... what's the word? Deceived. But, haha, there it is.
そういや一度だけ八代先輩から年間を見せてもらったことがあったな。学院の七不思議のことが書かれていたよ。
The unexpected phrase startles me.
タルパ。
The word meant only for the president's ears, which I'm not allowed to speak to anyone, accidentally escapes my lips. A shudder runs up my spine and I see a vision of the deep, dark forest surrounding the academy, the tree's limbs twisted as though in great pain.
タルパ？なんだそりゃ。もしかして千鳥から怖い話を仕入れてくれって頼まれたとかか。あいつどんどんそっち系の話好きになってるよね。
Erika-san frowns over the teacup and I... Ooh, choice. Ask her about Tulpa's brush past it. We ask her, it seems. Going along with Erika-san's mistaken assessment, I ask her if she knows anything about Tulpa's, phrasing it as though it's just some spooky phenomenon I heard about. I have no idea what that word is. What does it mean?
タルパな。多分お前が知っているのとそう変わりないと思うぞ。一時期宗教系の図書にハマっていた時に読んでいた。
私もだいぶ前の記憶なので確認しておきたいの。
それなら構わないが、タルパはチベット仏教関連の図書を読んでいた時に1項目として記述されていた。
Wow, you have that kind of memory. That's amazing.
怪異というよりは、私は修行を邪魔する雑念といった感じに捉えたよ。
Interesting.
禅で座禅の際に邪魔をする煩悩、それが分かりやすく人の形をとったものとね。
チベット語で霊的な化身を意味するトゥルパから英語読みされたのがタルパよね。
厳しい修行で身体と精神を限界に追い込み続けていると、ここからは私の考えだが、ストレスによって幻覚を見ることもあるだろう。
それがタルパ。
怪異とかではない修行で起こりうる脳科学的な作用ってなイメージだな。あんまり怖い話には向かない話だ。
Something is niggling at me. Tibetan Buddhism, worldly desires. Why would such a phenomenon appear here at a Christian school?
悪かったな。
Erika-san pats me on the shoulder. Instead of her usual feline smile, her expression is soft and girlish.
千鳥のわがままに付き合わせてよ。お前も忙しいだろうにさ。
いいのよ。
My smile is fake, but Erika-san pats me on the shoulder again.
お前には借りがある。だから何でも言ってくれよ。
She mutters while looking down at the ground. She lifts her teacup to take a sip, but frowns when she finds it empty. I quickly lift the teapot, but she puts her cup back down, shaking her head to tell me she's had enough.
基礎となったタルパは話した限りだが、今のタルパは変化して少し違う方向になっちまってるんだよな。イマジナリーフレンドみたいな。
I listened to this new information with curiosity.
イマジナリーフレンドってのは自分の頭の中で友達を作り出すことだよ。人間関係の概念が希薄な幼い子供に見られる現象だ。
自ら生み出す。
お気に入りのお人形は本当の友人と思い込むようなものなのかもな。成長するにつれ現実の友人関係に触れ自然に消滅するらしいけどな。
I think of the Sasaki twins, my very first friends.
あいつらのことなら心配いらないと思うぜ。佐々木姉妹のことだよ。今はもう吹っ切れている。
Wow, it's like she's reading her mind. Whoops, did I mention them out loud? Mineko moment. Indeed. Erika-san's words are so kind that I find myself reaching out to take her hand.
ありがとう、エリカさん。
ありがとうって何がだよ。
いつも私を気にかけてくれていること、本当に嬉しいの。
She grumbles about me being overly familiar again, but doesn't make any move to shake off my grip. Her hand is small, the fingers slim and delicate.
そろそろ千鳥の練習も終わった頃だろう。様子を見てくるよ。
I tell her she should, yet at the same time I don't quite want to let go of her hand. Oh. Alright. I think that's a good spot to leave it for tonight. That was a bit longer than I expected to, but I think it was a good conversation to, I guess, introduce the investigation or whatever. Well, oh, sorry, that's the quick save. That's why it doesn't work. I always have an issue with that one. When I start a fresh one. All right, here we are. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Night night. Let me also do here. There we go. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Here. Alright. Here we are. Finally going into this last episode. I'm pumped and I'm curious. And yeah, let's see where this mystery takes us, because lots of weird details that I don't know how they're gonna come together. But hopefully they manage to tie it in a way that makes sense. And hopefully there'll be no exhuming of bodies, because that's a little bit... No, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, for now it is a bit late, but yeah, I felt like we would be ending a bit too early if I stopped, and then the scene was a bit longer, but here we are. It's fine. It works out. Thanks so much for joining. And yeah, looking forward to exploring more of this winter episode. And I want to see their winter uniforms. I'm very curious about that. Very curious. But yeah, hopefully that will happen soon. So for now, night night, take care. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you again on Thursday. Bye bye.